The 2012 Census of Agriculture has yet to be released, but from the 2007 numbers, we know the average U.S. farm operator is 57 years old. We also know the age groups above 57 are growing faster than those below it. At the recent Omaha Ag Outlook, held jointly by UNL Extension and Iowa State Extension at the Embassy Suites Old Market, Melissa O'Rourke from ISU presented on the common mistakes in estate planning. As you'll hear, a large percentage of farmers or ranchers have yet to start planning for the transition. We started our conversation with Melissa by asking what the average aged operator should accomplish or start to by his or her mid-50s.
Well, they should have done something, certainly. Being a university, we do various studies and we find that 60% of farmers have no estate plan in place at all. So I don't say that to make people feel good if they have done nothing, but they are not the Lone Ranger. Procrastination is the #1 problem that people have. So the first things we want them to do is start communicating with their family, get organized, get your materials together, get information about your assets, what you own together, and start talking about that, doing some communication, some goal setting, and start building your team of professionals if you haven't done that. Many people have a tax professional, but they may not have that legal professional who needs to assist them with estate planning. But you need to include other professionals, your insurance professionals, accounting, real estate professionals, spiritual guidance. All of those things are important.
For that large percentage that doesn't have anything done right now, what should their goal be through this process? What do they want to aim for?
What they want to aim for is to have a plan in place that is going to leave their family in a better position than they would be otherwise. So that in terms of what they want to have happen to their farm business, what they want to have happen to their farm assets and their personal assets is something that is set out and is clearly communicated to everybody. One of the things that I really emphasize, though, as we talk about the whole farm estate planning and transition planning process, is that we don't want to have secrets among family members. We want to have a legacy of communication, of goal setting, of talking about what our goals are for the future and what we would like to see happen, not just with the assets of the farm, the land, the livestock, the equipment, but what do we want to have happen with that farm business and what should happen to that in the future.
Are there common things or areas where farmers get confused more so than another? I mean, are there common problem areas?
One common problem area that I see among farm families that have the family farm, the family business, is thinking about how to divide things up. And oftentimes there are maybe certain people in the family that are involved in the farm and others that are not. And people need to consider that whole aspect of, is dividing everything up equally going to be fair? And think about that aspect of fair versus equal. That's one of the most common problems that I see in farm families.
I'm wondering if you have a common question that you get, because you said you do a series of these meetings across the state of Iowa. Is there something that more often than others maybe people come up to you and ask?
I'm going to tell you the #1 question that I get after I do an estate planning seminar is people saying, I don't have an attorney. I don't know an attorney that can do that kind of work. And out on our Iowa State website, Ag Decision Maker, there's an article that I've authored that's a set of instructions of how to find an estate planning attorney that can work for you. And it's a whole series of getting recommendations, interviewing that person, a set of questions. That's the #1 question that I get. I suppose the second question is this question of, how do I treat everybody in my family fairly, and does that necessarily mean equal? For that, we have some other resources, but it depends on the family. It depends on the situation, because every family is different. But I want every family to think about that question. As Melissa mentioned, she authored an article on finding an estate planning attorney who can work for you. We'll link to that article on the Market Journal homepage.